Welcome to October 10th. I am Chris McCleary with your daily CIRF report. I'm going to be doing something just a touch different today, but we still are looking for the biggest influence and then how to surf that. We have a lot of tension that is possible today, but it's not all bad. And so what I'm going to do is start with the DreamBot. This is the collective dreams. And then we're going to work on the astrology. We're going to work off of the astrological chart in order to do the surf and how to surf those energies. All right, so what are we looking at in the dreams? In the red arrows, we have the tension, competition, fragment, teeth, pay. You're going to pay for it and grit your teeth. And want, anytime you have a want, you have tension. There's that shadow again, and even the emergency. There's the tension. There's also tension down in Florida, apparently. State of emergency was declared yesterday. I find it interesting, like Air Force One. Air Force One is the president's plane. Look at ship and shadow and one. Ship one. Well, anyway, President Trump declared an emergency down in Florida. That was yesterday. So that comes through in the dreams. But why shadow one? That's interesting. Kind of implying that there's somebody behind the scenes there. Now, aliens is also here. I kind of grouped this all together. I'm just kind of interested in this linguistic set down here is all. And this did happen yesterday. And so if this is just a direct representation of what happened yesterday in the state of emergency, all that is called day residue. But with the word aliens in here and shadow, I'm just really interested in what that could possibly mean in the collective. All right, let's continue. Blue arrows. Blue arrows is all about possibilities. So dream, could there, thus, shortcut, lucid. We're going to explain that a little bit more. Yes, guide, were, and details. And even want is in there. But there's possibilities. There's new possibilities there. And without further ado, just remember the lucid thing here. We're going to take that and we're going to go into the astrology. But first, we're going to do our transition. And so the transition helped me prepare. I'm going to do something a little bit different here, as I'm going to do it directly into my software, the astrological talk, and I'm going to combine the surf report just because there's so much going on here. We need to talk about how to surf those energies as they come through. So let's start with the numerology. 10 is determination, motivation, purpose, and focused, independent. But what I noted from the website, that one of the websites that I got the numerology from, Astrology Answers, was, quote, either productive or frustrating. So today could either be productive or frustrating. And what I'm about to show you in the astrology matches what the DreamBot said, and same thing, same exact thing. It could either be very frustrating or it could be enlightening and change your life. So we start with Mercury still in the opposition to Uranus, but yesterday it wasn't quite an exact, and today it's going to go past the exact opposition to Uranus. So this information up here, the anxiety and the lower concentration, all that stuff is still in play here because Mercury is opposing Uranus. Uranus all about change. Now, the moon kind of kicks everything up into high gear, lights everything up, and early in the morning, probably when you were dreaming, and yes, you were dreaming if you don't remember your dreams, that doesn't mean that you're not dreaming. Unless you're having very, very poor sleep quality. So the moon comes past Mercury and lights that up. That was earlier. It's already past there as of the time of this recording. Next, it's going to go towards Venus, which Venus is already square to Mars. It's not an exact square, but it's close enough to provide that tension. This is relational tension. And remember, the backdrop of all this is Scorpio. So it's deep, it's watery, it's emotional, it's passionate, and very intense, okay? And the moon is going to exacerbate that because of its qualities. Now, so how we surf this tension, this is basically lighting up the Venus retrograde. You can go back and watch the Venus retrograde video for more information, but you're looking for, there might be some tension, there might be some karmic residue from old relationships. So those events and those tests might be coming up, which provide tension, or old relationships themselves might be coming up, providing more tension. And so how we surf this is to watch yourself, watch the unconscious reaction to that tension. Anytime there's tension, most humans want to alleviate that unconsciously, and that produces maybe, I just want to go for a smoke, or I want to go do drugs, or do something unhealthy. That's when dysfunction sets in. It's when you consciously realize that you have this tension and that you're trying to alleviate it, that you can produce healthier side effects or healthier habits. But all I want to do, I'm not concerned about the making a habit today. All I want you to do is to realize the unconscious intuitive reaction. And I want you to watch that and just see what it is your body naturally wants to do when there's relational tension. And this tension is going to come back later in the dreams. We'll talk about that here in a second. But for right now, you might have the intuition, if you have the wherewithal to stay with this tension and your urge to go do something. What is it that you're going to do? Is it commensurate with your highest values? Is it going to be healthy for you in the long run? And we can start to sort out. We can already have pretty good insights right there about some changes that perhaps need to be made in your life. Not necessarily having to do with those relationships. That's a whole separate issue. But for you individually, you can get some really cool insights just watching yourself. Okay? So that's what's happening in this little aspect with the moon. Is joining with, is going to be joining with Venus a little bit later. Then later on tonight, Venus is going to go, our moon's going to go past Venus and then start making a trine with Neptune right here. Now that is not a contentious. This is a perfect timing because it's going to be later on in the evening. And you might be having dreams. You might be asleep by this point, and that's a really great thing because we're trining. Anytime there's a trine, it's the same kind of sign. So water sign Scorpio and water sign Pisces, and we are in a trine with Neptune, the dreamy planet, the imagination planet. Well, lo and behold, we had all this tension today during the day. We come into dreamland, and this is where we digest all the undigested emotions for the day. And we start to put information worth keeping into the long-term portions of the brain. We contextualize our life. This is this is like a second chance at getting great new insights about what changes you need to make in your life. Now, the neat thing here is when you are watching yourself throughout the day and seeing yourself in this tension and seeing what your body would naturally do and making determination for some sort of change, you can ask your dreams, you can incubate certain dreams to do some problem solving. So you can just say, I will dream about a solution to this particular problem. And you can The most effective ones are, at least in my experience with myself and with other clients, are those who are really committed to it and they get it into their subconscious, this intention. And so, for example, they can write it on a little sheet of paper and you can say it throughout the day. I will dream about the solution to this or that or the other. Another thing, and remember when we were talking about lucid, it was in the DreamBot. There's another opportunity, and lucid dreaming is a fantastic way of really renovating your life. Lucid dreaming is any time that you know that you're in the dream while you're dreaming. That's it. And you're aware that you're dreaming. There's different levels of lucidity. At the very bottom is just being aware, but you're still helpless. You can't change anything. And at the very top of the lucidity scale is that you are aware that you're in the dream and you can change anything you want and go fly away, or you can go make a monster into a rabbit or whatever. Anything is possible in the highest states of lucid dreaming. Anyway, there's a whole set of protocol. Maybe I'll do a video on that, on how to get lucid. Some of you already are lucid. There's another great time, especially tonight, with the Neptune Trine, is to incubate some lucid, maybe even on the fly, lucid solutions to these problems. And in lucidity, you can just bring up your guide. You can bring up a deceased family member, or maybe even a living person that you really respect. You can bring their opinion into the dream, say, hey, what should I do about this? And that's how cool lucid dreaming is. That's just one of the many things that you can do with lucid dreaming. All right, I think that's a wrap. That was a little bit longer. Hope you stuck in there. Thank you for subscribing. Thanks for your likes and shares. I appreciate your support. We'll be here. We're the National Dream Center, healing the collective psyche, one mind at a time. Have a great 10th of October. See you tomorrow.